Keegs, Kyle, and Dan. And Keegs, the greatest Father's Day gift was delivered on Sunday. The Blue Jays got rained out, so it was a stress-free Father's Day, baby.
It was great, man. And I'm always a bit sour when a game I'm not at gets rained out. You know, now I probably have to cover that game someday. It's a big L for me. But Father's Day didn't ruin the day for any dads. As nice as like a mid-afternoon Father's Day game would have been, you know, just pass out on the couch. But split series, man, they didn't lose a series. So life is oddly good for the Blue Jays now, coming back home for 10 days, man, 10 in a row.
The Jays have Cease going tonight. Of course, Bieber's start gets moved to tomorrow. I believe, is that correct? It's tomorrow it's been moved to?
That's right. Bieber will be tomorrow. First one back.
Okay, so they welcome Houston team into town. How does Cease match up against this team?
Man, other than Yordan Alvarez, it's going to be all right, I think, for Dylan Cease. Like, Yordan Alvarez, number one, might be my favorite player in Major League Baseball. Like, I'm just a sucker for the big DH first base type in baseball right now. And Yordan Alvarez, like, I'm glad he's back to who he is. He only played in 48 games last year, and it was a lost season. But, man, he's up to 25 home runs, a 1067 OPS. Like, he is an unreal hitter. I love watching this guy play. Otherwise, though, the Houston lineup ain't much right now. Just going down through who they have rolling. I mean, Jose Altuve, 36 years old. He's batting .235 with a 707 OPS. I hope this is not the end and downturn of Altuve. He's had such a brilliant career, but it might be. Maybe Jeremy Pena's on the way out. We'll see how the next bit goes for them. The Astros are stuck in a weird place right now because I always expect the Astros to be competing. And even when I look at them in the standings, they're kind of having a dud season. They're one of those teams that I still expect, like there's always going to be some playoff drive for them, and it's not really there right now. Their rotation's been god-awful. So this is a weird spot for the Astros. And Dylan Cease, as long as he can survive Yordan Alvarez, should have his way with this lineup. Honestly, that's just been the struggle for Cease, though. He has 98 fantastic pitches and 2 that bite him. And it's weird. You'll see him allow 2 runs over 5 innings, and it's so much different than your average pitcher allowing a couple over 5. You know, your average pitcher might allow a few doubles, a single, a walk. With Cease, it's just 1 bad pitch, 1 home run. So if he can avoid that, this is another opportunity for him to start building that Cy Young case, to try to start chasing down Cam Schlittler.
Producer Tim was telling us that he's going to the game tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. Tomorrow night. Tonight. And he wanted to see Shane Bieber start. And he said, yeah, it's first of the season. I'm like, no, he's pitched. And then I had to jog my memory. Oh, yeah, we haven't seen Bieber. This is bizarre that it's taken this long.
Yeah, this has been the poster boy for a strange year of injuries. There's been a lot of injuries, but also Bieber, Jimmy Garcia, Addison Barger's turning into one of these, where it's taking a lot longer than we think. And there's a line with that. It's the Blue Jays don't need to show me guys' medical records. That's okay. Some of these can just take longer than they expect. I think Barger's an example where they thought it would be quicker, and frankly, it just hasn't been. Bieber's been a strange one. This started back at the winter meetings in December, early December. And Ross Atkins said something to the effect of that he was dealing with a little bit of fatigue and maybe would be coming along a bit slower. But at that point, teams are always going to be optimistic. Maybe he's ready for spring training. And even in spring training, guys, February or March, I was talking like Bieber might be an option. That's back when we were talking about, man, they might have 8 starting pitchers. What the hell are they going to do? I mean, obviously that hasn't worked out, but Bieber was probably going to be a part of that. But it's been delayed. So it was Tommy John surgery a couple years back. He came back late last season and revved it all the way up. Like, he did not ease in whatsoever. It's playoff race. It's World Series right away. And then Bieber, when he came down from that, there was a bit of fatigue in his forearm, a bit of fatigue and inflammation in the elbow. Nothing that blew up on him, thankfully. But it's taken a while, man. We're the end of June. This is half a season gone. And this is big for the Blue Jays, number one. Getting him back, getting closer to a real rotation. It's big for Shane Bieber, too, man. He's a free agent. And if he puts up a 3 ERA down the stretch and is totally healthy, then you're talking about, can this guy get a 5-6 year deal for big money? If he struggles down the stretch or has any other health issues, which I hope do not happen for him, then you're talking about, short-term, murky middle ground. How does the CBA affect him? This is big for Bieber, man. This is his one big opportunity to cash in on his career, and he's got to make it happen pretty quick. He'll have 15 or 16 starts to do it.
So when he comes in tomorrow night, what kind of pitch count cap can we expect to see with him, and what kind of pitch counts has he been doing in the minor leagues during his rehab?
I think he should be pretty close to full, maybe like a 90 type of thing for Bieber, because as he has built up, and he's done this pretty slowly and pretty steadily, he's gotten to, I believe it was right around 80, right at 80 in his last outing. He's gone from 59 to 62 to 80 at this point. When the Blue Jays get a pitcher all the way ramped up like that, they like to have a couple around the same area. So let's call it 80 to 90 pitches at this point. And Bieber's pretty efficient, man. He could give you 5 or 6 innings on 85 pitches if all goes well. His velocities look fine in the minor leagues and those rehab starts. He's only ever going to throw 92, 93. And that's fine. His game is mixing and matching, getting you a little off kilter with a changeup. It's not overwhelming you like Dylan Cease. It's a little more subtle, a little more nuanced, but everything looked good. He did have some walks in his last outing, which is really uncharacteristic for him, so it's probably an outlier. But man, as long as he can just come in and be a normal starting pitcher, like the bar is low right now. He can be Cy Young winner Shane Bieber like next month. I don't care. Just be a big league starting pitcher, and that's great for now, because the Jays, their number 5 spot's still kind of wonky with Patrick Corbin there. We'll see how that goes. But they need to at least have 4 spots in this rotation, along with Cease, Savage, and Gosman, who are just normal, who are giving them 5, 6, 7 innings every time out to lessen the strain on this bullpen.
The Corbin experiment has to come to an end. But the Blue Jays are in uncharted territory going into this week. So they had the Rainout on Sunday. They had the Miles Straw game on Friday. And I think for the first time in a long time, every pitcher in the bullpen will be available.
Big day, man.
Yeah.
The workload on these guys is scaring me. It's gone from like talking point to genuinely worrying right now, because the Jays, what are they, 38 and 39? So they're a few days away from the midway point of the season. So you can pretty much double these workloads and add a couple on top. Mason Fluharty has thrown 41 times. As a funky lefty, that's not too worrying. Tyler Rogers, same thing. He's throwing submarine. I think he can throw 100 times. I don't care too much. But Braden Fisher at 38. Jeff Hoffman at 36. Louis Varland at 37. 42 innings. He's coming off a 2-inning save. Louis Varland is on his way to one of, if not the best bullpen seasons we've ever seen in Toronto. Like, you'll be able to put him up against Tom Henke and Dwayne Ward, especially when those guys were throwing a lot of innings. You can put him up against that wild Mark Eichhorn season in the 80s where he threw like 157 innings out of the bullpen. That's the level we're talking about with Louis Varland. And I trust him about as much as anyone to keep going and to have a lot in the tank. But, man, I've seen it so many times with relievers running out of gas late in the season. It worries me. I never want to bet against Louis Varland, and I'm not stupid enough to do that. But it worries me, this workload, man. You've gotta ease off midway through if you can.
Please keep an eye on the addition of Varland jerseys in the stands, because I think it's gonna jump astronomically.
Fan favorite.
We want a running count, producer Tim. We'll wait for your text messages tonight. Other than the big swing in Boston last week, are you seeing any particular signs that showing that Vladdy could now be emerging from his power slump, or was that an anomaly?
Man, even the swing, and I don't want to be like one of these idiots who's saying like, oh, the Knicks got lucky. Like, okay, like shut up. It's even the swing itself was not like a classic Vlad swing. You know, it was a gifted athlete just getting it all done kind of with his hands and reacting. It was not that classic explosive Vladdy turning and flipping his hips through the ball. That's okay. They're not all going to be cinematic. But I think that we want every home run to be the one that turns it around. And we want every Blue Jays win to be the one that turns it around, of course. But with Vladdy, he is battling that back thing he has going on. I'm not sure how serious that is. He won't tell us fully, and that's totally fine. But you're still looking at a guy batting .279 with a .735 OPS. And he is coming off of a couple of singles in his last game. But I'm still, guys, when I can say definitively he's back is when he uncorks one of those big wide open swings. When he hits these home runs like that, yeah, I'll still say, is this it? Maybe this is what triggers it. This could be what the Jays are looking for. When I'll know it for sure is when he turns on a ball, probably an inside pitch, which have been killing him. When he flips his hips and turns on an inside fastball, hits it 440 feet to left field, and completely pimps it. Like, just watches the whole thing and stands there and pisses off the other team. That's when he's back. We haven't seen a home run like that recently. His one in Fenway, the wind helped it again. I don't want to knock a home run. I'm hating myself for this, but it wasn't a Vladdy classic. His one a month ago, it's been so long I don't even quite remember it, guys, but I do remember talking to Vladdy after and him saying, like, yeah, that's good, but that's not quite the one I'm looking for, right? He's looking for that one. Like, think of the ones he had in the postseason. They were no doubters, and he could stand there and watch every inch of ball flight. Then he'd run the bases. That's what you're waiting for. When I see that, immediately, boom, he's back, period. But I don't think we've seen that yet.
When people look back on this season, there's going to be a lot of, hey, you remember that guy? And the Jays might have got another, hey, remember that guy? Luis Urias, veteran utility infielder. The Jays got him for cash considerations from the Diamondbacks. And there's a clause that he has to play on the big league team. So that means someone is getting sent down.
I'm thinking who the other that guy, because us writers, we spend too much time together, especially in spring training. We don't have much of a life, so we do this game all the time.
Sosa's another that
Sosa's
guy.
one. Austin Voth, Tanner Andrews, Hayden Yinger, Josh Fleming. Every year's got a few fellas.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see the decision. Probably today, I'm assuming he reports. You've got a couple options, which are probably Davis Schneider or Yohendrick Pinango. And this is interesting because Urias plays mostly second and third. So you have your infielder. Ernie Clement can slide over to short. He's the backup there. A couple guys can cover first. So you have your infield puzzle with him there. Do you then need Davis Schneider as a guy that slides in? Or do you like the upside of Yohendrick Pinango? The problem is that Yohendrick Pinango, much like Jesus Sanchez, has been playing a baffling outfield. Like, it's hurting the Blue Jays, and it is getting in the way of them playing their version of baseball, frankly. And you don't need to be a Gold Glover. But frankly, I use Davis Schneider as the example of who Pinango needs to become as a defender in the corner outfield. Davis Schneider is not a track star. He is not 6'5". He is not this brilliant athlete. But Davis Schneider's done a really good job, and I admire this, of getting the basics down in the outfield. And he's got good enough athleticism, natural ball skills that he makes these diving catches too when he can get to them. You don't need to be a Gold Glover. You just need to be solid. You need to be the guy that doesn't screw up, and that's fine. Be an average, like zero value when there's negative and positive. Just be a zero value average defender. And Pinango has a long big league career. But so far, we've seen, much like Sanchez as well, probably worse offender with Sanchez, what it can look like and how it can wreck some games when you're not playing that type of defense. So interested to see where this goes today, and interested to see how long Urias is around for. Maybe until Addison Barger comes back. We'll see how long that is. But, man, another guy getting a shot, just like Lenyn Sosa when he showed up. Like, whoever shows up and runs with this opportunity will have a chance to stick around. It's just no one's really done that.
You know, I found the acquisition of him kind of interesting too, considering that right now in Buffalo, they have a young man named Sean Keys who's raising eyebrows for his play, and he himself is another infielder, is he not?
Big Sean Keys, man. He is, I think, my number 14 prospect in the system. And if we rank today, he'd probably be closer to the top 10. 19 home runs, OPS over 1,000. Most importantly, it's carried over to AAA. The jump between AA and AAA is so important because AA is where the top prospects are, who throw 100 and have big sliders. AAA is where you get slopped to death. That's where you get like the 31-year-old curveball machine. And it's so important to see a guy still hit in AAA. That's really encouraging. Now, Sean Keys, again, he's not the world's best defender. I think he can be steady and sturdy out there. He's mostly first and third. So you're running into Vladdy, which ain't really going to happen. And you're running into Kazuo Komodo and eventually Addison Barger, which is tough. Again, we just saw Charles McAdoo up with the Blue Jays, who had a similar defensive profile on the corners. He didn't play much at all. So I think it's the same situation there. Also another lefty bat. So he's a little bit log jammed. but that's not his fault. The stuff that he is in control of, Sean Keyes, he's nailing, man. Like, he has forced his way into this conversation. I think he makes his big league debut at some point, somehow this year, whether it be injury or forcing his way onto the roster. And man, power is what this team needs right now. Like, I don't care how much we talk about identity and the perfect lineup and splits and all this stuff. If one guy hits a home run, not much else matters. And if you have someone who's hitting 19 home runs to this point, we're in late June, it's really damn encouraging. And he's built for power too. Big dude, naturally powerful. These are not wall scrapers. Like, they're huge tanks. I think fans would love him. And only 23 years old, man. Like, if it's not this year, then we've got a real interesting conversation next spring. This is a story the Jays needed. Someone in the middle to kind of jump up to a top prospect who is built on offense. They need offense.
So, Keegan, is this also a bit of gamemanship? Are these stats being hand delivered so to prop up a prospect? So when we get around to the trade deadline, you're like, hey, look at all these guys in our system.
Of course, man. Look at this. And all the guys that are having bad starts of the year, it's the wind, it's the phase of the moon, whatever dumb stuff it is, right? The Jays have an interesting crop of prospects that they can be dealing with. And I'll just bring up the top 30 list here because I predicting who will get traded is an even stupider endeavor than predicting who they'll trade for. But I think that we can learn a bit from recent years. And we can learn a bit from who they really, really love. Number 1 prospect, JoJo Parker. They love him. They're obsessed with him. Number 3 prospect, Johnny King. He is the player we're going to be talking about. I mean, he's almost 20 years old, turns in July. But this year in Vancouver, a 2.47 ERA, and over 47 innings, he struck out 66 batters. He's kind of on that Ricky Tiedemann path from a couple of years ago, where next spring, I guarantee Johnny King will be the big obsessive talking point. He'll get into 1 or 2 spring games, blow a 99-mile-an-hour heater by some guy, and he's all we'll talk about. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't think Juan Sanchez will go anywhere. But thinking back to recent history from the Jays, they have traded multiple times some top-ranked position player prospects. Jordan Groshans, Austin Martin, I'm probably forgetting some. Alan Roden's another one. So that means that Arjun Namala, their number 2 guy, maybe he makes some sense. I look at Gage Stanifer, their right-hander, number 5 prospect. Last year they dealt Cal Steven. They dealt Kendry Rojas. These were top 10 ranked starting pitchers. Jerron Watts-Brown was another one. The Jays, I feel like a lot of people are still hanging on to, like, hey, Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro came from Cleveland and Ross wears glasses, and I don't like that. Like, I don't know why people are stuck to this, like, this front office is too conservative. And this front office is really bold with trades. And frankly, they win almost all of them at this point. I have to call it what it is. They're doing an excellent job with most of these trades lately. And the Blue Jays have dealt number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 ranked prospects over and over. They have dealt first-round draft picks over and over. And they're winning way more than they're losing. I think they should keep doing that. I think they should stay aggressive. And when you have any success story, it tends to lead down this path. Like, Alan Roden's a good example of that, right? He was the number 1 most hyped guy for a year. Boom, traded, easy. So that stuff matters. You know, the coverage of these guys matter, and the numbers leading into it definitely matter, especially when you're someone in AA, AAA, where it's getting more realistic.
So with the MLB trade deadline approaching, what do you identify as their biggest needs at the deadline?
I think we've got to think about the end of this season, but also next year, the next couple of years, because both of the Blue Jays' biggest needs for me are long-term needs. In the rotation next year, let's see, Kevin Gausman's a free agent, Shane Bieber's a free agent. So is Max Scherzer. Does that impact much? I don't know, whatever. But next year, the rotation going in will be Dylan Cease, Trey Savage, and Cody Ponce coming back from an ACL injury. So I don't know if he's throwing 200 innings. Jose Barrios might miss the whole year as well. So you've got 3 guys. Right now, the Blue Jays this season need a 5th starter. Next year, they need a permanent starter. So I think they could be involved in any market available for a starter with control beyond this season. I think that would make a ton of sense for them. And I think they will have the financial muscle to take on money as much as they need to. The other spot I look is in the outfield, guys, where the Jays have a good outfield and they have lots of players who are good. They need someone who's great. I think Dalton Varsho is going to be a free agent. George Springer, who's pretty much a DH now, is a free agent as well. Do you want to go forward with a kind of group of Sanchez, Pinango, Straw, Lucas, Schneider? Like those are big leaguers, but who's the star of the show there? I'm not quite sure. Now, in a perfect world, sure, Byron Buxton says, I'm open to a trade. You get your star right-handed hitting outfielder. Fantastic. Everyone's happy. But I do think a long-term piece in the outfield would be really attractive as well. But starting pitching has to come number one. I think last year when they went out and got Shane Bieber, that was smart as hell. And I think this year you've got to find another option who, if they can stay beyond this year, is even better.
You mentioned how the front office has done, and I bet you they want to walk around with, hey, I told you so on Bichette and Kyle Tucker, because they're like, hey, we dodged a bullet with those two.
Kaz has been a better hitter than both, really. Like, I'm bringing up Bo's numbers. I know recently he's been a bit better, sure, but still, you're looking at a guy with an
and they're saying, is he
three.
actually going to opt out? I can't see that happening.
I would be awfully surprised if that happens. There's a ton of cash on the table. The new CBA and how that looks, I'm not sure, would be a big factor in that probably. But I mean, if Bo's numbers stay where they are, that's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see him come back. I guess that's a week from today, next Monday on the 30th, I believe it is. So we'll see what kind of reception he gets. I think it should be positive.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone would take that money. If you say you wouldn't, shut up. You would take the money. No one else was giving it to him. And Bo Bichette, if Isaiah Kiner-Falefa had a few more inches, or if Jeff Hoffman had have made a pitch.
I can't go through this again.
Happened, Bo Bichette would be right behind Joe Carter as the biggest Blue Jays moment of all time. It would have even been bigger than George Springer's ALCS Game 7 home run. That I hate that his home run off Shohei Ohtani has been overshadowed and forgotten. And I hope that in the next 5-10 years, as the pain of that goes away, people can more properly frame Bichette's home run. Because this guy was hobbling around the clubhouse. He was playing second base in the big leagues for the first time ever. He could barely walk. He was in rough shape. He didn't want it out there, but he was in rough shape. And he took Shohei Ohtani off the batter's eye in center field and dropped the bat and hobbled around the base. Like, it should have been the second biggest moment in Blue Jays history, which is topped only by arguably the biggest moment in baseball history. Like, come on. You know, I almost feel for the guy. And I think I put this in the updated chapter of the book that, like, Bo would have hated all of the publicity he'd have to do for that for the next 40 years. I can't find two more different men than Bo Bichette and Joe Carter. Like, Bo would come back for the alumni event every year and just be so upset to have to talk to me again. But it's, man, he was an interesting guy to cover, man. And I just wish that moment had have stuck for him.
Well, unfortunately, Keegan, the pain of that has not gone away, and I have no further questions.
Let's have ourselves a Monday.